been thinking about happiness a lot lately. For the first time in a long time, I feel happy. Like, I feel content with what I have. I just feel enough. And sometimes I just look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, damn girl, you did it. Affirmation, I guess. I remind myself that I might not be in my end goal, but I'm going there. For the first time in my life, this is for sure, I am doing what I've always wanted to do. It's a new feeling for me. It was very hard at the beginning because when you are living on autopilot for a long time, and it's like when you're in university and you're just thrown in the real world, like you don't have any directions. It was hard for me to find the direction, but I think I can say that now I am finally on the right path. Mostly because every time I doubt myself, I just zoom out, look around and get confirmation, like I see sign that just basically say, scream, don't stop, keep going. So it's good, it's a good feeling, I like it. I've always wondered how people felt in this situation, and I am so happy to finally be in that position. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just enjoying the moment, honestly. I was watching some videos about happiness from Naval Ravikant and Mo Gauda, and it was such an inspiring conversation. I got so much value from this interview I saw because it was just something that I felt like I needed to reflect on. Listening to what they had to say and made me think about my own situation. It's like they were saying in words what I've been thinking during my journey, but they put everything together. They were talking about how lonely it can be and what the meaning of happiness is, and how you can just feel happy with nothing, but also that happiness is a choice. And this is a very controversial topic, but I do understand where these come from. When I moved here, it was not easy. It was not even that hard. It was just challenging because I think that's how life is supposed to be. I changed as a person, I changed my mindset. I think I just evolved. Sometimes I think it's not fair to say that you change, like, because change is sometimes has a negative connotation, but it's not bad, at least in my vocabulary. I don't think change is bad. I think change is natural in a way that you cannot move forward if you are in the same place all the time, and not being in the same place means that you have to change something about your life. Now, did I ever think that being happy would mean losing people? Absolutely not. I thought that happiness would lead me to having a nice circle of people, and it's not the case. I'm just kidding. I do have nice people, a circle of people. What I'm trying to say is that it's not the things you would expect. I did expect being lonely on the journey, like that a journey would only involve myself because it's my life, you know? And I did expect that because all the witches were saying that and they were talking about my future and me moving towards the person I really want to be and the things I really want to do. And I know I'm always mentioning my witches, but they're part of my life and this is a fact. So anyway, zooming out, this experience, it all makes sense in a way. I didn't feel sad about not having people. I think I felt hurt because I was emotionally connected to some of these people. Now, looking at the bigger scheme and on a bigger scale, do you really need people who are a source of anxiety and are dragging you down when you express your dreams and thoughts? Expecting that everyone is gonna be happy about your happiness, it's very unrealistic, and you are just setting yourself up to disappointment basically, because you know not everyone is gonna be happy about you being happy. That's because it reminds them of the reason why they're not happy about their life. Some people just don't want to see the people they really know being happy because it's like a personal threat, and that's a fact. I mean, I stopped having expectation for people at least 10 years ago, but this doesn't mean that I think that everyone is bad. My default is thinking that everyone has good intention. I trust my gut and my intuition is very sharp, I would say. Like, I've been having my fair share of delusion and I had to deal with a lot of different people during my life, so I learned how to tell someone's real intention, or at least if I can vibe or not with someone, even with people I just met. Like, it takes me a couple of seconds just to see if we're a good match or not. I'm not being too naive thinking that people have good intention. It's just, I don't know, you live better if you think that someone is good instead of thinking that everyone is bad and you have to be wary of everybody. As a woman, I'm already hyper aware of my surroundings all the time. I don't need to look for something wrong in people. I just need to trust my intuition, which works. Not 100% of times. I stopped caring about people and what people think about me and my decision, and I live happy and unbothered. So that's how it works. Cheers. I really don't understand this behavior. Like, it's something that I really have a hard time seeing that perspective. To be honest, I love seeing other people's dreams becoming true, and I love when people just are excited about life and they just want to finally live the life they always wanted to live. Like, it's just very exciting. Their passion is very contagious. Like, I like being influenced by that energy, and me living my dream shouldn't be a threat to anyone else's dream. Like, the world is big enough for everybody. But what I do understand is where this comes from, why it makes people unhappy. As I was saying, it's just that you, a person they know, seeing you happy just reminds them that they are unhappy about some things in their life. And if they're unhappy about some things in their life, but you are not, it means that you did something that they did not. And the problem is that realizing that you are the problem is itself a problem for people. Picture that. If you realize that you are making excuses, it's like a slap in your face about a reality you're living. Because if someone you know changes, you're like, wait, why did they change and I did not? What did they do that I didn't? They must have some external reason that I don't. It's not me. It's always like, it's never you. And the thing is that you can think that you are not the problem. And by problem, I mean you are not in charge with people you don't know, because you really, like, you don't know them. So it's very easy to blame other people. But when it's people much closer to your circle, or you just kind of know, you're like, wait, something's off. I thought this was like impossible. I thought it was just like for people who have this kind of life. But are you telling me that normal people like them and like me can't do that, and I'm not doing that? I want that. Why I not to that state? And this is problematic for a lot of reasons. People don't want their ego to be touched. It's very unpleasant to realize that you are not making the right choices about your life, and you could. Realizing that you are potentially really just making excuses to whatever situation you are in and you want to change. I mean, it's hard. It's not easy. But the thing is, it's not easy for anyone. But there are some people who can put their ego aside and just do the work, and there are some other people who needs to work on themselves more before reaching that point. For those people, it's just easier to blame something else. It takes the blame out to say that someone else was lucky or whatever, because it means that they're doing something wrong, and nobody wants to be wrong. I mean, I don't see the problem, but people who have a strong ego never want to be wrong. And a reality check can be humbling, and not everyone is ready to be humbled and willing to be humbled. But that's where growth happens. Understanding that the outside world is not against you means that you have the strength to change your life, but this also means that you have to take action, and action is something different from what you've been doing before, like until that point. And that's why it's scary, and you don't want to go outside your comfort zone. It's a circle. It's very easy, honestly. I'm not justifying people for being assholes at all, but I see where they're coming from, and I strongly disagree. On this note, I would highly suggest to be more open, less judgmental. Literally build an empire for yourself, and you will not have time to look at what everyone else is doing. because you're thinking about yourself and your own happiness. Put it into words that have been highly inspiring for me lately. Mind your own business. But seriously, on this topic, I always think about a book. It's a play, so reading that it's very kind of boring. The translation is 1, no one, and 100. And basically the main character wakes up one day and realizes that his nose is leading towards on the right side. He asks people, and it's like his wife, and it's like, did you ever notice that my nose is not symmetrical? Yeah, of course I did. And you also are balding here. And he was like, at that point he starts to ask people about his flaws, and he also realized that everyone has a different idea and perception of him. The more he asks, the more people say different things. Like almost no one says that he has a crooked nose, but everyone is pointing out other flaws that they see in his behavior. And when the play basically goes from physical to his personality, and it's very interesting to see, like you don't need to read the whole play, but there are some very good, like I would still suggest you to read the full thing, just because it's very slim, like it's less than 100 pages or something like that. And there are some very good points, like because he almost go crazy, and at some point he stops caring, because he's like, these people are saying things about me that I don't think. I am not like they are perceiving me. And then at some point in the play tries to make them understand that they are somehow wrong, but they just don't say it. Later during the play he stops, because he's like, there is no point in proving people that I'm not what they think I am, because that's what I am for them. That's why it's 1, no one, 100, because I am me for myself. I am one. I am nobody for them, because my real self, what I perceive as my real self, is not what they do perceive as me as a person. And I am 100 because 100 people will have a different perception of me that is not the same vision that I have about me. And I thought it was very interesting. I'm always referring this book, like it's one of those books that I'm glad I read. If you find like a summary or something, it's interesting, and I'm sure he's not the only one who explored this concept, but I really like the way everything is staged and explained. Keeping the book recommendation, I've been reading The Millionaire Fast Lane, and oh my god, this has to be my favorite book. You would think that this book doesn't really relate to the idea of happiness, and so you're like, what the hell are you talking about? And I do see your point. However, this book is about going the fast lane, right? Like there is a slow lane and there is a fast lane, wherever. If you take the financial advice that it gives here as life advice, this still works. I love this book. I have so many folded pages. The things he says in this book are sticking with me, I guess, because it's not only about finance. The point he's trying to make is a mindset shift. And if you can change your mindset, you can change your life, you can change yourself. And it's basically just saying that everything starts within you. You can find every excuse, but if you don't start from within, nothing is gonna change. And if you were with people, this is not him saying that, this is me going back to the idea of losing people. I always think that if you were with people who were meant to be with the highest version of yourself, or were meant to be part of your dream life, then why don't you already have your dream life? Why there is a gap between your current situation and the life you want to live? If everything you have around you was already meant to be, then you would have already been living the life you always wanted. Basically, it's pointless complaining about what other people are doing. You just mind your own business, like literally and metaphorically, and good things happen to those who tries. There is this quote: it's time you realize that you have something in you more powerful and miraculous than the things that affect you and that make you dance like a puppet. And I will leave you on this note, hoping that it will motivate you working on your passion and living a happier life, happier and healthier mindset. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye. 생각이 많은 밤 할 일이 많아
깊어지는 밤 까마득히 어두운 밤 그 밤을 지새우는 나의 모습이 너무 불안해